is up, everyone? Welcome to tonight's show. I am super excited for tonight. It's gonna be great, guys. Huge show tonight. We have an awesome guest, guys, and I know y'all are looking forward to him. But first, I have some announcements to make. First thing, Paraunity is coming up October 22nd, 2022. Feel free to come, okay? It's a free event. If you want to set up a booth, contact Shadow Seekers, okay? Very cool event with some awesome people. So be sure to come to that event. Second, I have an event coming up May 21st at the 101 Para Cafe. If you want to investigate with me and Will and whoever else wants to come, I got some cool friends coming along. Feel free to pick up a ticket on Eventbrite. All right, guys. So I have one last announcement before we get into our special guest, okay? Guys, I've made a decision. Next week is the last episode of season 2. So, with that said, some of you may have already seen me post about it. Season 2 is ending next week. Next week, we're just going to kind of chat and hang out, whatever you guys want to do. With that said, though, season 3 is to be determined. So keep that in mind. I want to make some updates. I want to improve the studio. I want to take a little break. I want to improve the content. I want to do a little bit of extra work into these shows. So give me some time. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'll just come back. So just so we know. So I really wanted to let everybody know that before we go into next week. But you only ain't here to hear me jibber jabber, talk, all this crap. You guys are here for one reason only. Jeremy York and his big comeback. Okay, we all love this guy. He has done so much for the network. I mean, some of us, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. Okay, he's the reason I'm here, guys. Okay, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm so thankful that he chose to be on my show tonight and to come back and just say hello, everybody. So without further ado, we have a very special little clip for you all, and then we'll welcome Jeremy back to the show. Let's see it.
Hi, I'm Jeremy York.
Finally. Hi, everybody. How are you all doing today? It's been a long, long time. Let me tell you something. I've missed all of you. I've missed everybody. I've missed doing this. And it's been 4 long months. It's been 4 long, hard months. But I'm back. And I'm ready to go at it again. All right, Clarissa, where are you at?
Let's hear a huge welcome, guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm so excited. This is so awesome. By the way, guys, I really hope they could hear the audio during that video.
I could hear you just fine.
Could you? Okay, good. Then my test run was good.
Yeah.
Welcome. Look at all these beautiful people here. Welcome. Welcome. Like, could we say it more?
It's wonderful. It really is. I'm so glad to see everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so amazing to have Jeremy here with us, guys. You have no idea his story, the things he had been through. Oh, Jeremy. I mean, you're more welcome to share whatever you want tonight on tonight's show. I know we're going to talk about a few things about where you've been these past couple months and talk about a little bit about the future for things and what projects you have going on. So tell us, like, what is going on?
Okay, well, where do I begin? So basically, I've spent these last several months just healing at home. I have had 4 surgeries so far, and we are looking at probably 4 more to go. Should I just start at the beginning?
If you want, whatever you want to share with us, Jeremy. I love, I'm sure it's a lot of your friends and fans out there have been wondering, what the heck, Jeremy? And I know we all worried about you, and we're so blessed that you're still here.
Well, it's a miracle, honestly, that I am still here. Basically, what happened is that it was damn near a fatal accident. I mean, so close, so close. So what happened was, take something about this size and think about how it is at my face, okay? So it was a piece of plexiglass about that big around and roughly that thick, and it blew off of a tank and smashed me in the face. And it just completely obliterated this entire side. And it wasn't until 3 days later that it was found out that I was badly fractured on this side. And this thing hit me with such force that initially I thought that piece had just broken in half. Because I remember when it did not knock me out. I stayed conscious the whole thing. I still vividly remember everything that led up to the point of me getting hit. I remember getting hit. I remember standing up because I got knocked down. I remember standing up, walking down the steps of the platform that I was on, and walking out into the aisleway and calling out for help because I knew it was bad,
Right.
but I never knew this was December 16th, folks. December 16th. But it wasn't until the end of January that I learned how bad it really was. It was that the doctor let me know that it was almost fatal. Had that piece of plexiglass been 1 inch in any direction, I would have been gone. Um, and for those of you who are wondering, I still have my eye. I can still see out of it. But right now, it's the nerve behind this eye is damaged to where I have double vision really, really bad. And so I wear the eye patch to keep me balanced. Because otherwise, if I'm walking around without this eye patch, honestly, I am going to look like the town drunk at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, literally. Um, but even that's getting better because um, the eye doctor says that the nerve tends to regenerate and reheal itself for up to 6 months. And then after that, they can go in and do surgery on my eye. And hopefully, I'll be able to see single vision without any glasses. Um, but anyway, number one, I'm extremely nervous. This has been a long time.
I think it's great that you're here, and I'm so thankful. Now I know. So that is news to me. So you may get away from having to wear glasses, then, huh?
Maybe it's not 100%, but it's a possibility. I may get away without having to wear glasses at all.
Awesome. That's good news. I love that. I love to hear that. And
so they called the ambulance on me, and I remember first they had me sitting down, and I'm just holding everything like this. I did not realize literally that I was holding everything in its place.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was that bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be gory or anything, but like I said, I'm ready to tell my story, and honestly, I can't think of a better time to do it.
Because there's big things coming for you. That's why now's the time. You got big things coming.
Now is the time. So and I remember standing up and getting on the stretcher so that they can wheel me out. And and I remember looking over to the side and seeing half of that plexiglass. And I thought, okay, the plexiglass broke in half. And where it hit me, I initially thought I lost this eye because everything turned gray. And what it really was that when it hit, everything just swelled up immediately. So that's why I wasn't able to see out of this eye. I wasn't able to see out of this eye for 10 days. And it wasn't until the swelling went down, I was able to open my eye, and that was when I noticed the double vision. I thought, okay, here's another issue I got to deal with.
Yeah.
Then, so they took me in that night, and I remember it felt like forever. But I was in the emergency room for 3 hours before they wheeled me in. And just to kind of give you an idea of how it was, I remember being wheeled into the operating room. Okay. And you know how it is. They put the gas mask on you, you go to sleep.
Yep.
Well, they were having a little bit of issue with that with the gas mask because there was nothing here. My nose.
Right.
My nose
You
was
know,
gone.
it's just gone. Okay.
My nose was gone. Um, this piece right here was actually this way, sticking out, and
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know about this piece. So
Okay.
they had some difficulty um, being able to give me the gas to put me to sleep. It took, I don't know, 5 minutes before we finally got it. And the surgery itself that day was just to stop the bleeding and sew me back up.
Yeah.
That was Thursday night. The
So
next day,
sorry, I was just gonna ask. So the
oh,
whole time you don't lose a consciousness, and you
no,
got all this blood. Oh my gosh, Jeremy,
it,
I would have passed out just from that.
I know. So let me tell you this. Not many people know this. I've only said
Now
this. Maybe
everybody's gonna know.
everybody's going to know it. But for the first time in my life, I was scared for my life. Um, I don't know who it was. It might have been the guy that does the anesthesia, and I can clearly recall saying, "Please don't let me die."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Me
I
too, Emily. Me too.
yeah. Um, it was. I had never been scared like that before. Only a handful of people knew that I uttered those words.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think Adrian's one of them,
Yeah.
but never did I ever imagine that I would utter those words. Um,
Thank God.
and
That's a moment that you're here. Thank God.
it's
Universe, whoever you believe in, thank them.
yeah. And and my work called my dad, and I told them,
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. It made me laugh too. I'm sorry.
um, Zach, it's a gift, but thankfully I kept the receipt. Um, but I told them specifically I did not want my dad to be there
Okay.
because under no circumstances I did not want him to see me like that.
All right.
And especially if I were to not if I were to not have survived it, I didn't want something like that to be his last memory of me.
Yeah.
See like that. Hi, Craig. Craig is one of my cousins. He lives out in Texas. In fact, Craig and I, along with two others, we have actually been mistaken for brothers instead of
Oh,
cousins because
okay.
because we look that much alike.
Oh,
But,
wow.
but yeah, Craig is one of my cousins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, and everybody else, thank you all so much for being on the show. It's I'm so happy to see you guys here. In fact, I'm getting to tears already just from that. Um, but yeah, I told him I did not want my dad to be there, and he ended up being there. And then they was asking me if there's anybody else that I wanted to have them call. So I told them to call Crystal
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because I was supposed to do a show that night, and I'm like, call Crystal. I had my phone in my hand, okay, and I go through there even with all of this happening. I'm going through my phone. I find Crystal's um, contact. It's like there's the number. Call her. And the reason being because she was my second in command for the network.
All right.
Somebody needs to take over, and Crystal stepped in. Adrian stepped in, and during the whole time, they had done a fantastic job on the network. I cannot thank those two enough. And also throughout this whole thing, while waiting to get this surgery, I'm texting back and forth with Katie, and I was letting her know, hey, I got hurt. I'm probably going to be in the hospital for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Not realizing how bad it how bad it really was. Um, and I don't remember this, but I was going through a text that I had sent that night after I got out of the initial surgery because I was texting one of my dearest friends for more than 20 years. Her name is Holly. Um, I was texting her to that I was in a lot of pain. And she was
Yeah.
asking me how I was feeling and everything. I told her I was, I'm in a lot of pain, but it'll be okay. But I don't remember the pain.
Really?
Yeah, I remember everything else,
Right.
but I don't remember the pain. And I thought maybe, okay, when I got hit, my body just immediately went in shock and it kept me from feeling it. But apparently I felt the pain because I still have that text message. Um,
Interesting. Well,
yeah,
I mean, when you go through trauma like that, I mean, it's things just leave your mind,
it
when
does.
it's something like that. So,
It does. And then I was also on the phone with somebody after surgery, um, and I don't remember this specifically until he told me later on, a few weeks later. But but as soon as he said, "Don't worry, we got the network covered," I remember the entire conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, I just needed those few words to jog my memory of that night.
Wow.
But yeah,
It's amazing.
even after all of this, one, I did not want my dad to see me the way that I was,
Yeah.
and two, I was worried about the network.
Yeah.
I
You know why that is, Jeremy? Because we're all family here.
yeah,
We're all family. And that's just what it is. So,
yeah, and I wanted to make sure that the network was taken care of,
right.
and thankfully it was, and it still is. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Um, and then the next day, safety technician from work came in. They had done an investigation and everything,
Hmm.
um, and they said, plain and simple, I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I had done that would have caused this. There was nothing that I could have done except just not be there. And um, So I asked him just to make sure that I wasn't seeing anything. Yeah, you're right. I rarely ever think of myself. Even now, I don't. I'm always worried about other people. Um, so I was asking him just to make sure I wasn't seeing things when I was being wheeled out about the
Yeah.
plexiglass that broke in half. He said
Yeah.
it actually broke in three places. They
Oh.
found a smaller piece um, over in the corner of the room. So imagine imagine a piece of plexiglass that's that thick hitting you, flesh and bone, and it breaks. Imagine the force behind that.
And you were right up against it, weren't you? Weren't you
I
right
was
by Plexi?
I was probably from where I'm sitting to where the laptop is, basically arm's length. That's how
Yeah.
close I was to this plexiglass. So what this plexiglass is that it's clamped down on. You're right, Scott. I am hard headed. I am not going to make any bones about that. I freely admit that I am hard headed and I am a jackass. I own that. Um, but anyway, yeah, it was a clamp malfunction. So what it was is that it's it's what we call the peanut room, and these are the peanuts that you get that are on top of the drumsticks that you eat, the drumstick ice cream.
Yep.
So so this tank holds 700 pounds of peanuts, and right above it is like a dumping valve, and above it is a huge burlap sack that holds 2,000 pounds of peanuts, roughly.
Oh wow.
Um, and when the bag empties out, we got to go in there and change out the bag so that the peanuts can keep on. Thank you, Tom. Um, that's like a little joke that Tom and I have from many years. Tom and I work together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and there are other times where if the bag is getting ready to be completely emptied out and the tank is not full, then there's a button that we can push to go ahead and push the rest of the peanuts down, and then we can go ahead and start replacing that bag.
Yeah.
So this sight glass was what you look into to see how full the tank is.
Okay.
So that's why I was there, and I just happened to be really close to it, and boom, just
Wow.
came right up on me. Um,
There was no warning sign, as in like it didn't start shaking. It didn't start
no,
like it just bam.
just came right off.
Wow.
Just came right off. Um, so, but here's the kicker:
Yeah.
it wasn't just three pieces that it broke into.
Yeah.
It turned out there were four.
Really?
Yes. So on Saturday, bless her heart, Chrissy Baggett.
Yeah.
Um, she came to the hospital to visit, and she had also brought me some shears so I could shave my face, because the next day they were going to do the surgery to put everything back together. I'm
Right.
like, okay, let's shave all of this off, so that they didn't have to worry about it. And I'm still really weak, so Chrissy starts using the shears and shave my face off.
Yeah.
Then she got here, and she kept running into something here. Turns out there was a piece of plexiglass stuck in my lip.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but at the time, my mustache was so thick that
Yeah.
nobody saw it. And even now, you can't see anything what would even look like a scar right here, can you?
No.
So, it was just a small piece of plexiglass that was right here, and it was sticking out. And of course, everything is all numb for me. So I
Right.
can't feel it. And she's going right here, and she's hitting that stop,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, okay, I don't know what this is. And so she called the nurse in, and I guess the nurse actually pulled it out.
Ugh.
And it turned out, and I don't remember this part.
Oh, really? Okay.
I remember Chrissy having, well, Pamela, see, the thing is, my mustache was so thick, and they never, they couldn't see it. There you go. Um, yeah, that. Hi, Ed. Um, Ed and his wife is one of my dearest friends. She is actually the secretary of the bowling league that I'm on Tuesday nights down in Decatur.
Oh, okay.
And I just saw her for the first time on Monday.
Okay.
She was not expecting me to stop in or anything like that. She didn't even know I was in town. But I had an appointment with a dietitian,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm here in town. There's not there's not much going on. I need to stop and see Kate. And I go in there, and her sister is the one who greets me. So she goes to get Kate. Hey, somebody's here to see you. Kate comes out, and she could not run around that counter fast enough and giving me this big old hug. You know,
I love that. That's awesome.
it was. I stopped and talked to her for a good hour before I left. And so yeah, so I actually have a scar right here that because my mustache was so thick, they never saw it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the plexiglass had actually broken into four pieces, and a small part of it remained in my lip. And it was just mind blowing. So the next
Yeah.
day they did the actual surgery. I've got metal plates right here around my orbital sockets down here,
Yep.
and they had to take two pieces of bone out of my right hip to rebuild my nose. And I've
And that
got
was a long surgery. I remember waiting and waiting and waiting for like
yeah,
an update that
I
day.
know. Even the doctor was not expecting the surgery to take that long, and
Mhm.
it ended up being a 14 hour, thank you, 14-hour surgery. Um, and Crystal and Chrissy were freaking out. Um, they were actually en route because the
Really?
hospital could not give them an answer as to what was going on or where I was even at. They they could not. Thank you. Um, they could not get an answer from anybody. Um, Tim had called my dad.
Yeah.
Um, Jenny, my ex, she called my tried to call my dad. She told me wasn't able to get a hold of him. Um, yeah, I was finding out that there was a lot of people trying to figure out what was going on,
Mhm.
and finally, I don't know what happened, but somehow Tim was able to find out that I was still in surgery. So he called Crystal to let her know, and her and her and Chrissy ended up going back home.
Okay.
Um, because I think at the time, and Tim can correct me on this one later when he rewatches the show. Because right now Tim and Crystal have a thing going on with their kids, like a dinner before a dance type thing for school.
Is it prom?
I
It might
think
be prom weekend.
I think so. I know that there's like some sort of a formal dinner where they got to do dress up, because he was telling me earlier today that he's got to dress up in a suit and tie, and he wasn't really looking for that.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I don't like ties either, so I know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
um, but it ended up being a 14-hour surgery, and I think it was the next day that um, okay, yeah, there it is, Scott. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
And
I don't know what it is. A dance or something.
and I think it was the next day that Tim came to see me. Um, Crystal tried to come in, but she just couldn't bring herself to it.
Yeah.
She did not want to. Uh, yeah, it was. I when I woke up, Terry, I was texting. Don't ask me how, but I was
He
texting.
was.
Yeah, because I think I was texting you.
We text back a couple times
Yeah,
because I was trying to get answers too. I wanted to know what was going on.
yeah, and I think it was the day after the surgery. Tim came up to see me. Crystal came to the hospital, um, but she couldn't come in. She couldn't bring herself to it. Um, it I, I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. Um, and Tim, he actually bought me a Michael Myers bobblehead doll.
Oh yeah, I saw that there at the hospital.
Yeah, a Michael Myers bobblehead doll, and I got it sitting on my piano right now.
Yeah,
Um,
that was cool.
it really was, and so then after and before that surgery, I tried to eat a cup of pudding,
Hmm.
and I'm struggling. I am struggling trying to eat this cup of pudding, something that I love, with the best flavor in the world, chocolate.
Oh yeah,
And I
it
could
is.
not eat it. And I'm thinking, okay, something's wrong here. And it turned out that my TMJ was broke, the jaw joint. It was broke, so it wasn't attached to anything. So that's why I couldn't. Shut up, Scott.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah, strawberry's nasty. Um,
Strawberry pudding. I don't know if I've ever had that. But go on. Sorry, I was distracted.
actually, I don't know if there is such a. I'm sure there is.
Okay. Well, we're talking about chocolate. We're talking about good stuff here.
So so they found out that this was broken, and it wasn't hanging on to anything. So
Oh my god.
that's why my mouth wasn't working properly, and that's why I couldn't eat the pudding.
Yeah.
So when they mac and cheese pudding,
I know.
ooh,
I just saw that too. Like,
um,
I
okay,
don't
I
know.
love both, but some things just don't go together, and I have a feeling that macaroni and cheese pudding may not be one of those.
No.
Um, so what the surgeon did is that he tried to reposition my jaw the best that he could and put arch bars on my teeth. And then the purpose of the arch bars was to put rubber bands there and basically hold my mouth shut and let the TMJ heal.
Yeah.
Um, it turned out that a couple things weren't done perfectly. Okay. What most people don't see, um, particularly now, because I still got some swelling over here because I just had jaw surgery. They they did some scans. I don't know what all they did, honestly. I do know that they took me in for a CT scan the day of the accident. Um, let's see. I know I did a swallow test while I was still in the first hospital, and that was to make sure that that the stuff that I would drink was going down my throat fine. Because on
Yeah.
top of all of this, on top of all of this, I don't know if you can see it very well,
Yeah,
but
I can see it.
there is a scar right here, and I had a tracheostomy put in my trachea, and the reason they did that is because they had to have my mouth wired shut. When they rebuilt my nose, they put 3-inch cylinder packing in my nose, so I could only breathe through my mouth.
Yeah.
And if they needed to do like some emergency surgery or something like that, they needed to have a way to get oxygen to me. So that's why they put the tracheostomy into my throat. Um, yeah. And the thing about that was if I sat up, it sounded like I was farting all the time because it was because this noise was coming out of this trach and it was bugging the hell out of me. um, then they took that one out and put a smaller one in. Yeah, I know it's already been a long story, but long story short,
It's a lot though that had gone on, you know. So
yeah,
yeah.
when I went in for surgery number 3, that was to open my jaw up. That was to open my jaw up a month ago.
Yeah.
They discovered that the trach wasn't even where it was supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was lodged between my trachea and the skin of my chest. And my trachea had already closed and fully healed,
Huh.
which means I had been wearing that trach for however long for no reason.
Yeah. I'm like holding my neck now. Sorry, it's like
Yeah.
because we're talking about it.
Um, so so they weren't able to guarantee me a safe surgery because
Jeez.
they could not get the oxygen to me. Then last week, or no, Emily, January 3rd, I came home.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the third week of February that they realized hey, we need you to come in so that we can check on your trach. Okay. I go in there. So I have this trach in my throat, and there's Chrissy.
There she is.
She helped me
Hi,
out.
gorgeous.
She helped me out so much throughout this entire ordeal. I cannot thank that woman enough. She helped me out so much. Um, so with this trach that I had, I also had this cloth that I would put around it, to cover the wound.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even lift it up to take a look at it and see how it was. They just looked at me from like 5 feet away and said, "Yep, looks good."
Oh.
Okay. So there's that. Um,
Wow. I didn't even know that about your trach. That's crazy.
yeah, not a whole lot of people knew about that one.
Yeah.
So now about my nose.
Yes.
So again, they're like 3-inch cylinder packing things that they put up both nostrils. The reason for that was so that as the scar tissue forms on the inside, they put those up there to keep the scar tissue from plugging up my nose.
Huh.
So
Okay.
they did it that way so that when they pull it out, the scar tissue is pretty much done forming, and I'd be able to breathe out of both nostrils.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I thought it was just like, gauze packing or something like that. No, these
Right.
are 3-inch, like plastic or silicones, whatever it is, that was shoved up my nose.
Wow.
I can't breathe. I can't blow my nose. I
Oh
can't sniff. So imagine going through that for a month and a half.
I have allergies. I do not want to imagine that.
Now, here's where one of the good things comes in.
Yeah.
When I got hit, it shattered my sinus cavities on this side. I still have some sinus cavities here. It completely shattered my sinus cavities here. The doctor says chances are I will never have a sinus infection again or a sinus cold.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like, that would be amazing.
Win!
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And also, you know how like you get the stuffy noses and you how people sound when they got these full sinuses and everything, and
Yep.
that doesn't happen to me anymore. That does not happen anymore. So yes, I almost died from this.
Right.
I don't have to worry about sinuses anymore.
Right.
So, you got to look at the positive stuff,
Did I freeze up on your screen or is it just mine?
No, you are frozen on my end.
I am.
Yeah, you look, you're doing this.
I know. I'm like.
Yes, I still came on the podcast.
You did. No video though.
Yeah. So the funny thing about about me coming on the podcast, one, I stayed off camera. So all you could see was the 13th dimension logo.
Yeah.
And the little vibration things as I talk, which is pretty cool. Um, and because my mouth being wired shut, you only have so much room. So I sounded like I had a Scottish accent.
Oh, yeah.
One, I thought that was cool as hell that that I could speak like that. Um, but that, and then when I got the bands removed, um, that was when we discovered, okay, his mouth is no longer wired shut. I can't open my mouth still. Reason being is when the surgeon put together my face, a piece of bone is back a little too far
Yeah.
and prevented my jaw from being able to open. And
Mm.
also at the same time, oh, I don't know, Robin. Do I sound like I got a Scottish accent? Um, and I've got a piece. It's really hard to do, but I got a piece of bone right here that's sticking out too far.
Oh, okay.
Um, so in order to take care of that, the surgery that I had almost 2 weeks ago now was to go in and make an incision inside my mouth and actually cut off a piece of my jawbone to allow my jaw to open up.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that, folks, that wasn't very pleasant. And plus, I had to have 2 teeth pulled out.
Oh, God.
I had, luckily, they were both all the way in the back. I didn't realize that this one here, actually, that wouldn't be a bad professional profile picture, really.
Should I screenshot it?
Um, I just did.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I did a thing. What did I do?
huh?
No. No. Oh, my God. I almost exited out of the freaking video. I'm sorry. A panic attack.
Actually, Clarissa,
Yeah.
if you just close your screen, you can get back into the studio.
I want to make sure that we don't lose the stream. I was just going to try and fix my camera on the back
You
end.
won't. You won't because it actually. Well, hold on. Um, okay. Okay.
You can't.
Uh,
No, you can't hear me when I leave. Here, let me. You tell your story, and I'm going to try and fix my camera.
okay. So, Emily, yes, I did have pain. It wasn't lockjaw. So what happened? So what happened was, um, oh, hello. Can everybody still hear me?
I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
my screen just blacked out.
Oh, I wonder if it's my fault.
Yeah. No, it's back now.
Okay.
Um, no, it's just that my screen blacked out, but it's back now. Okay, now it's black again.
Oh my gosh! It's every time I leave. Oh, this is terrible. What the heck? I'm
Hey,
sorry, guys.
Clarissa, I'm the one who's supposed to have the troubles here, not you.
I know. Oh, this is what I get for trying to do something different. They still hear you when it black out. It blacks
Yeah.
out. It's just black on your screen.
So anyway, actually, Emily, the pain that I would get, the the muscle in my mouth is trying to open up, and and it'd be totally at random. I could be drinking something, I could be talking to somebody, or I could just be doing nothing. And all of a sudden, my jaw's trying to open up on its own. This was before any bones were removed. So I would get the feeling right here, and it would be really, really painful. And I remember one time I was at my dad's house, and we were talking. Yeah, spasms. Um, and then all of a sudden, my jaw just tries to open up really, really hard, and it caused me so much pain that I had some kind of cardboard in my hand that I just smacked it into the desk that was right next to me. It actually scared my dad because he knew that that was painful.
Yeah.
Um, and now that my mouth is opening up, I'm getting that again, and I still can't open my mouth all the way up. In fact, um, I have this little device right here that's supposed to help me with opening my jaw.
Huh.
Um, it sounds painful, but it's not as painful as I thought it would be. So I'm supposed to do this thing for about 10 minutes each time, and the doctor wants me to do it at least 5 times a day. And it's supposed to help stretch the muscle here and get it used to being able to open wide. It's called a therabite, and from what I've seen online, terabytes are really expensive. So so we're opening that up. No, Emily, I don't. But now here comes the bad part. My jaw was reset too high. So imagine taking a board, take the board and lay it down flat on the table. Now you lift up one side. Then, as that side is lifted up, take the back corner and lift it up. And take a look at how way out of alignment that board is from the floor. That's how my mouth is right now. So way back here is the only place where I can clench my teeth and my teeth actually touch.
Oh wow.
Everywhere else, no. So
I just
I
want to
have.
make a comment, Terry. Absolutely, I had the exact same thought. Jeremy, you might not get it. I don't know. Us women get it.
Yeah, I know what. I know what you're talking about. Hey.
Oh my god.
Um. I'm sorry. I couldn't read. Anyway, so now I have to be careful of what I eat. Right now, it's mostly just mashed potatoes, pudding, yogurt, stuff like that. I have been eating some macaroni and cheese. So what I have to do is I have to push um, the macaroni with my tongue into my teeth to break them up, um, which is not the most pleasant thing to do, but you know it works. When I get to taco level, yeah, that's that's going to be a while. Um, I am,
I'm
however,
sorry. I'm not laughing at you, Jeremy. I just laughed at that.
I know. I am, however, going to go see my dentist. After I get my mouth opened up wider, I'm
Yeah.
going to go see my dentist, and we're going to try to do like some sort of a fitting to where I can put like some sort of a prosthetic covering over my teeth on this side to try to give
Okay.
me a more balanced jawline, I guess, so that I can start eating regularly before we
Good.
do the actual surgery to correct this and make everything even like it needs to be. Um, but that's going to be down. I thought about doing that, Steve, but I don't know. I really don't know. Diane, I hope not. I hope not. so that's another surgery later on uh, for my jaw, and the oral surgeon says that when we do this, he might be able to pull this cheekbone in and make it level with the other cheekbone. Um, but we're not going to know until we get closer to that time. The suit that doesn't sound half bad. Maybe, I don't know. Then there's a surgery for my eye, like I explained before. So this is the next critical thing that needs to be taken care of. Again, I can still see out of this eye. I still see well. It's just crossed and at an angle. Um, another surgery is to reshape my. Hey, Clarissa, we can see you now.
I know. I fixed it. I switched it to not use OBS, so we're good.
Okay. So then the next one is another surgery is to do my nose. You can't really see it from here, but my nose is really disfigured. To me, it is. The scars don't bother me. Scars
Yeah.
don't bother me. But when you look at me from the side, it looks like that it kind of got cut off because of where the scar is at.
Okay.
That doesn't bother me too much. What does bother me is when you run your finger down your nose, you have that little dome shape on both sides.
Yeah, like right here.
I don't have that over here anymore.
Oh.
That bothers me more than anything else. Um, so I'm going to want that getting taken care of, and then another one is the eardrum on the right hand side. The eardrum got pulled in,
Okay.
so now everything on this side. Let's say Clarissa, you and I are talking. It'll sound like there's three of you talking to me at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how this sounds. So I'm guessing that once the eardrum is put back into place, that'll go away.
Okay.
But who knows?
So one thing we discovered though is you've had some experimental fun with the
Yes.
eye and investigating. So did you want to share some of that with us?
Yes, I do. So I figured, you know what? I've got this disability right now. How can I use it to my advantage? Not necessarily taking advantage of the system, but how can I use it to an advantage for an investigation? I discovered this purely by accident. At the end of the night, I'm going to bed. I'm taking my eye patch off. Now, because this eye has been behind this patch, everything opens up and all the light that is around comes in. Now all of a sudden I am blind in this eye, it seems like.
Right.
Because I can see so much with this one. And there's also like a color shift to it, which I thought was really weird. Because to the normal eye, it's like an orangish tint, sort of. And to the eye that has not seen light in a long time, all day long, and now at nighttime, you're using that eye, it's like everything has a blue tint to it. And I had brought this up to John Griffin, and he confirmed it. He knew exactly what I was talking about. He knew exactly what I was talking about. So the first investigation that I did was at the jail in Crown Point. And it was purposely chosen to be my first one because, one, I have been there so many times. I know that building like the back of my hand. So I feel safe there. Two, I have all my closest people with me. Scott Wilson wasn't there, but we wanted him to be there.
Right.
You were there, Clarissa. Nick was there. Tim, Crystal. Carrie was there with her family. Chrissy was there. Ricky. Will. I forget who all else. We had like 10 people there.
Yeah, I think we counted 10 or 12.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, let's see what I can see in this jail with this eye, having been covered all day. And oh my, the difference. And you were there for my first experiment.
Yes.
So to kind of lay this out for everybody out there, if any of you are familiar with Crown Point Jail, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say the Federal Hall. That's where Clarissa and I went. And it is one of the darkest areas in that building. And I don't mean dark as in evil or anything like that. It is literally dark. The darkest area in that entire jail. So we get there. And we got the three little benches all the way down there at the end. So we sit there. And when you're looking down, you got the jail cells on your right hand side and the brick wall on the left hand side.
Right.
And Clarissa, when you're sitting in there, you can't see the brick wall.
No, you can't.
I took my eye patch and switched it over to cover this eye. I could see every individual brick on that wall. And I even made a comment about that during the time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then the second to last cell, which actually was cell number 2, as you're walking in there, I saw a shadow of somebody. It looked like somebody was pacing around their cell, like going in circles. And I saw the shadow in the light that was being cast from outside. Because even though it's the darkest area in the entire jail, there is still some light coming in, but very little.
Yep.
And I could see what looked like somebody was pacing back and forth in that cell. And I marked it for the camera because we had a camera rolling, and we also had audio rolling too.
Mhm.
And then right around that time, that's when you started feeling something too.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought that was a really, really successful experiment.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was so unique, and I have told a couple other teams about it. I recommend having somebody trying to do that, and basically that is cover one eye. One, you need to have good eyesight. If you got cataract or any kind of eye issue, don't do it. For
Yeah.
somebody that's got great vision, cover one eye, keep it covered all day, and make sure it's a black. Huh?
I don't know.
Okay.
Drama. Aw, that's nice.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
looks like looks like an advertisement.
I deleted it.
Yeah. Did that come on Facebook? Oh no,
Yeah.
you're only on Facebook, aren't you? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm only on Facebook.
Okay. So and have a black covering. That way you can minimize the amount of light that you do get.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Nick, it was a comment that popped up, so I just deleted it because it had something to do with Russia and whatever. So I just deleted it.
well, Nick didn't see it, so it must not have come on the Things Network page.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
page you're watching on it didn't get posted. I don't know
So
which one it posted on.
so another thing that I have is I have adhesive bandages that I'll put over this eye because sometimes you just get tired of having to strap around your head.
Right.
So I do that. It's like a Band-Aid, but that doesn't block out the light. You need something like this, and you'll see like a shine on mine. That's because I put electrical tape to put over the seam where they sewed it together. Because there, without this tape, I can see like a little ball of light,
Yeah.
and it bugs the hell out of me. Um, so yeah, we did that and ended up doing 3 different locations in that jail and learned very quickly that you wanted to be in the dark room because the last experiment was up in juvenile and,
Yeah.
and I had Chrissy with me on that one. But because it is so open in three walls and all the lights coming in,
Mm-hmm.
did not work out so well.
Yeah.
So you want it to be as dark as possible with still just a little bit of light coming in because you're going to need that light so that you can actually see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. It's so cool, and it's like, our eyes. I mean, just learning from that experience, learning from that, it kind of gives you an idea of different experiments to test your senses,
Yeah.
more, and I don't think we're all like, we're testing, like we test our feelings or whatever, but they don't really test like our human senses. We're
Right.
like sixth sense. Everybody's like, yeah, sixth sense, but what about our physical, actual senses of hearing, seeing, taste, whatever, so I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that you're able to do
Yeah.
that.
And so many people, and I'm guilty of this. So many people rely very heavily on equipment.
Right.
And a lot of people like to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on equipment.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, you don't need to do that. Look at the success rate that the dog whistle had. And I spent $4 on that thing. And now here with testing things out with the eye, find a way to cover your eye. This
Yep.
this here costs $5.
Yeah, we should totally sit down one day with my psych books, my psychology books from college, and just be like, "Ooh, let's try this in the paranormal." Like, because there's so many research things they do that I think we totally could apply to like the paranormal investigation. I think would be interesting.
Absolutely.
We need to do that sometime.
Um, and yeah, that's something that I've done.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, do not. That's right. I won't go into that story. I've already told it 1,000 times. um, and yeah, so I figured, just because you have a disability
Mhm.
does not mean you can't use that as an advantage of something.
Right.
So for this, I applied it to the paranormal and actually had some success with it. Does
Right.
that mean that will happen every time? No. It did the one time. It worked really well the one out of three times that I did, but I still learned on the other two times.
Right. Absolutely. And I know, like, we talked about one other sense we talked about is hearing. Like using your, because like for you, like you personally have a little bit of hearing, but I had that one gentleman on the show a couple months ago, and we asked about him, how he could apply it to, you know, the paranormal, because he was deaf. So
Yeah, and for him, I don't remember if it was ever brought up, but for him, um, depending on how his senses are, he might be able to feel vibrations.
oh yeah.
Just because you can't hear doesn't mean you're not going to be able to feel vibrations. A
Right.
lot of musicians do that. And I know that there are some musicians out there that when they go out on stage, they will be out there barefoot so that they can feel the vibration of the music through their feet so that they know um, when they're supposed to sing,
Mm-hmm.
and also if they are so that they know when to play.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying go walking barefoot on an investigation. That's just stupid.
In most locations, you would not want to walk barefoot.
Yeah, some places are bad enough just when you're wearing shoes.
Yeah.
Some of them you almost want to wear the army boots or steel toe boots, but we won't get into that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can use vibrations even if you can't hear, you can still feel.
Right.
Um, But
That's
yeah,
great.
that's just something that I did for hazmat suit. Well, in some locations, you might need a hazmat suit.
I can
Honestly,
think of one that's no longer available.
yeah. Um. So yeah. So there's that. Um.
Yeah.
And the future, I'm really looking forward to.
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about, like, we talked about your story, and we talked about what you had gone through. We talked about like what things you could have done in the paranormal and are doing. What is the future for you? Things, the 13th dimension. Are we going to see you again, Jeremy?
Yes,
Yes.
and you're going to be seeing me very very soon. Um,
Awesome.
the 13th dimension is coming back. Hence why this banner is back up. But the 13th dimension is coming back differently. Now, as we all know, Tim and Crystal are taking a hiatus. Scott is taking a hiatus. Um, and 13th Dimension, that was our show.
Yep.
I had no intention of doing 13th Dimension without those three. Before Scott made his announcement that he was retiring from the paranormal. Now, keep in mind, it's not a true retirement, okay? He just needs to focus on his health issues. His wife's got health issues. He needs to focus on that.
Right.
So we were on the phone a day or two before he made the announcement because he wanted to make sure that I knew what was coming. And in that conversation, semi-retirement, yeah, let's go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that conversation, he tells me he wants me to continue doing 13th Dimension. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it without you guys.
Yeah.
So we go back and forth. We're butting heads. I'm punching him. He's twisting my arm. No. Um, he was really insistent on 13th Dimension continuing. And he recommended Nick Muley jumping in his spot to be my co-host. And when he said that, I could see it happening.
Yeah.
You know, Nick and I get along so well. We can relate to each other so well. Yeah, Scott, and you weren't the only one. He really was. I could tell it in his voice in that conversation. It was an extremely hard conversation for him to have.
Yeah.
But like it is on a lot of, it's one that needed to be had.
Right.
Um, but Scott wanted me to continue doing the 13th Dimension and bring Nick on. And I said, okay, I would do it, but I'm going to. We need to run this by Tim and Crystal,
Yeah.
and they both were thumbs up on it. And because one, Nick had been a guest on our show more times than anybody else had.
Yeah.
And Nick was also one of those people that you just know you can count on if you need anything for a show.
Yes.
So after all four of us agreed, okay, let's ask Nick.
Yep.
Because if anything would have come, Nick was always the first one to come to mind for all four of us. So I asked him, and what he's not mentioning there is he didn't even hesitate.
He did what?
He did not even hesitate.
Oh,
If he thought about it for like a split second in Android time. He accepted it right off the bat.
yeah.
So Nick and I started talking about it, and we started talking about when we were going to do it. And I knew that there needs to be something special first. I need to make an official return.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing here.
And on my show.
On your show. I honestly could not think of a better show for me to come back on.
Oh, Jeremy. Oh. I am honored. Really. I think it's awesome.
And so I needed to do this. That's right, folks. I'm back. um, and Katie, she is such a sweetheart. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. She has been there for me from day one. Um, I cannot say enough about her. I really can't. I cannot
All you
say.
all you ever say is good things about Katie. She's
Yeah,
great.
she is. She's wonderful. Yeah, so enough of all that mushy stuff. Uh, so I knew that next Friday. Okay, that's a new one. I had been called many things, but not the Roman Reigns. I'll take that. um, I had been given many nicknames, all good mostly good nicknames. The most recent one was the Paranormal Adonis.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. My vanity had taken a big hit from this accident. Because if you take a look at the picture that you had on your banner for this show,
Mm-hmm.
take a close up look at me. Big difference.
Mm,
To me, there is.
to you, yeah. I mean,
Because I'll look in the mirror, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I'll look in the mirror, and I feel like crying because I'm like, that's not me.
I
That
mean, you
is,
go your whole life looking at the same face, and then you're not. I
yeah,
totally get that.
yes. um, so my vanity had taken a huge hit. My confidence had taken a huge hit. And Katie has helped me a lot with that confidence.
Good.
She has. Um, I have been going through a lot over the last 4 months, and Katie is the only one who knows every single detail of it. Other people know a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but Katie is the only one who knows every single detail. And she has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Adrian has helped me a lot. Chrissy, you know, so many people out there. I can't name everybody.
Right.
Tim, you.
Right.
A lot of people have helped me out so much. Um, my sisters, they're in the beginning. They were driving me everywhere
Right.
for, for my appointments, surgeries, everywhere. Scott Smith stepped in and took me a couple places. Um, this is what I hate about having to name names of people who have helped me because I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Yeah. So don't name anybody. You're all great.
And but that's just it. I don't want to name people because I know I'm going to leave somebody out.
I know.
I don't want to just not name anybody because then
Right.
they would think, well, he doesn't appreciate what we did, which that is not so. I am so thankful. Um, it's I don't know. I'm just lucky,
Right.
fortunate to have the kind of people that I've had throughout this entire ordeal. Um, Chrissy has helped me out so much. A week after my second surgery, Chrissy came to my house and gathered up all my mail and brought it to the hospital. And we went through all that mail because I wanted to get my bills paid.
Right.
And she wrote out all the checks, and I just signed them.
Yeah.
Tim, he came to see me multiple times and also reported back to people.
Yeah.
Because everybody's wondering what's going on.
Yep.
He's letting them know. Scott Wilson, he was doing the video updates for me, letting everybody know because he, and this is not putting anybody on a back burner or anything like that. But Scott was probably more associated with me than anybody else being associated with me. When it is because of the podcast. When they see me, they think of Scott. When they see Scott, they think of me. So Scott was doing the video updates for me, letting people know how I was doing. Then I've had a lot of people just coming to visit me at the hospital. You came to visit me. Tim did, Crystal did, Scott did. Some people from work did. Blake came to see me. And then Katie had actually sent me some supplies.
Yes, I was there that day. I remember.
Yeah, it was. That was basically my unboxing thing with you.
Yeah. Had to get there like right around the time you got the package.
Yep. And I wasn't expecting that package.
Yeah.
I just remember her specifically asking about where I was.
Right.
And I told her,
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people are asking where I'm at. So
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this nurse or whoever it was come in. Hey, you got a package? And I'm looking at it. What's this for?
Yep.
It was sent to you. So I thought, okay. So I opened it up and looking at the contents, and I think Katie was the one who popped up in mine.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again, Katie.
Yeah. And Katie, just so you know, he was very thankful. I like I said, I was there.
Yeah.
And he's like, look what I got. He was very excited. It was awesome.
Yeah. It really was. So yeah, we have the 13th dimension coming back, and Nick and I were talking about, okay, when are we going to do this? I'm not going to be able to do it next Friday, and I'm not going to be able to do it the Friday after that. And we're just going down the calendar. Then we get to May 13th, and then it just clicks for both of us. Friday the 13th dimension is coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I guess I didn't even think about that. I knew you told me the date, but I didn't even think about Friday the 13th.
Yeah. And also on Friday the 13th, I am scheduled to be a guest on the Revs show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're going to get a double helping of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that one was actually scheduled way back in August.
Oh, so
that was scheduled way back in August. Because originally, the Rev wanted me for Friday the 13th in August.
Oh, okay.
But that was my Friday to work. And Adrian, who is his producer for the show, we were going down the calendar, and she said, we want you for a Friday the 13th. Okay. So we go down the calendar. Friday, May 13th happened to be my day off.
Yeah.
So let's do it then. And we scheduled it, and I confirmed it with her just a couple of days ago. Hey, am I still scheduled for Friday the 13th? Yep, yes you are. Okay.
Awesome.
um, and then, and as everybody knows, I had a Thursday night show.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So guess what? We got a Thursday night show coming.
Okay.
And we got most of the original hosts.
Okay.
Nick Muley,
Okay.
Adrian Hart,
Nice.
and Eileen Jones.
Nice.
We are starting that one next Thursday, on the 28th.
Okay.
And we, oh man, we were kicking around names for a long time.
Yeah.
And we settled on Supernatural Talk.
Okay.
And that name Eileen came up with.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and that will be coming on immediately after Holly's show, Mystical Connections.
Okay.
So that show will be coming on immediately after that, and we start next Thursday night. Really excited about that one.
Wow, we scheduled this like perfectly then.
Well, I was missing doing podcasts.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nick, we did. We came up with a lot of funny names. Some names that we really can't repeat either. Honestly, I was missing doing podcasts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did not want to be doing shows hiding behind a logo.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I needed to make sure I got myself to the point where I'm comfortable being on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, I was completely nervous about getting on the show. I was completely nervous. And now, after having done it for an hour and 40 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oops, we ran over.
Yeah. We got nobody behind us.
Yeah, but I'm on other networks.
I know.
Thank you guys on the other ones for letting me still be here. That's all I gotta say.
And I know the time schedules of all the other networks. we still have 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
I'm not keeping you for 2 hours.
No. I don't keep track. So yeah, it's fine.
So what was that? No, so I needed to make sure I got myself to a point of being comfortable being on camera again.
Yeah.
But again, like I said earlier, my confidence took a big hit because my face is no longer what it used to be. And Zach was saying, a lot of people honestly have said that I'm still looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you guys say that.
Right.
I need to get myself to where I'm comfortable with it.
Right.
And there's still more work to go. There's still more work to go. And so that you guys know, I still have my eye. See? I can still see you. And you, and you, and you, and you. So, because the original plan was I was going to wait until everything was completely fixed.
Sorry, it's my phone.
I silenced my phone.
I don't know why my son's calling me when he should be here in the house. So.
So I understand that it's going to take a long time before everything is done. I'm still looking 2 or 3 months before my jaw is done. I'm
Right.
still looking at possibly another month, 2 months beyond that for my eye. Then who knows about my nose? Um, so I was like, you know what? I got to do something because not doing these shows is driving me crazy. Because I enjoy doing these shows, I enjoy talking with people, and as people have learned tonight, I've had a lot to say. And there's still a lot that I haven't said that I'm not going to
Exactly.
say.
Right. I mean,
um,
we can go on and on, really.
I could really uh, probably have to do like some sort of an all access kind of thing.
Right.
um,
Right.
but there are other really cool things that I've got going on. I'm going to be doing some work with some other teams, filming wise.
Yeah.
They're actually waiting on me to be able to do this.
That's
They,
cool.
it's not going to be until about the fall, but they understand that I need to do this, and they want me to be a part of this. Even though I had already told them, if you guys need to do this, go ahead and do it. Don't worry about me. But they want me to be a part of it. And that right there is humbling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, I'm not going to mention who it is because they haven't really made any kind of an announcement on what they're going to be
Right.
doing. Also, Things Network, it's got some more shows coming. Uh,
Yay.
one of them is starting next week.
Okay.
The other one has actually been in the works for a couple of weeks now. I'm not going to say with who, but she's really excited about it, and she's bringing on some really, really cool surprises and waiting. Probably next week, I think she's going to make a formal announcement on it.
Oh.
Yes, it's going to be extremely exciting. A lot of people want this, but they're not
Okay.
going to see this one coming. um,
Awesome.
and also, Things Network is expanding.
What?
The Things Network is expanding. So all the other networks, yeah, Nick has been working really hard too. Nick has been a blessing for us.
Yeah.
Um, again, I know I tell you this a lot, but thank you. So a lot of the networks that you see, they're all on Facebook.
Right.
Some shows will also either broadcast live or upload later on YouTube.
I do
Which
that.
and Page Network has been doing the same thing as well from the beginning.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, Nick was my guinea pig for this one.
Okay.
And the reason being is because Nick uses the same account that I do for StreamYard.
Okay.
Um, and the package that I have is that you can go out to 8 different locations.
Yeah.
So Nick has not only been streaming to Facebook, to YouTube, to his own personal page, to Things Universal,
Yeah.
and somehow, and we don't know how this is happening, but somehow it had been streaming to my personal page, even though he has not been selecting my profile. Somehow it's still going to my page.
Yeah.
But he is also streaming his show on Twitter
Oh.
and Twitch.
Okay. Yep. Twitch. Yep. Okay.
Adrian and Jan, their show on Monday night, Getting Cozy with Adrian and Jan, they've
Yeah.
also been streaming their show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Huh.
And when Supernatural Talk comes out, and when the 13th dimension comes out, we're going to be going to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we're already signed up on these other platforms as well. But you have to have a certain number of followers.
Okay, gotcha.
Things Network is also signed on to TikTok.
Oh,
You gotta have 1,000 followers for that one, and we're at last I saw at about 190.
oh, I will share you guys away then. I'm
And
doing
I have
well on
been
TikTok.
yeah, and I have been taking clips from previous shows, those that have given me permission to.
I've seen them. I've seen them
Yeah,
because I follow you.
and I will also be putting intro videos on those as well.
Okay.
And just about every show has given me the okay to do that. And also, Things Network is signed on to LinkedIn.
Okay. Did I
We
see
have a
that?
page there.
Yeah.
I just started this one a couple of weeks ago, and I just started working on building that one. And right now we're either at 12 or 13 followers. You only have to have 150 followers on that page in order to go live there.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that on LinkedIn.
Yep, you can.
That's so cool. You need to share the Twitch information because I'm on Twitch. I have a Twitch channel. I want to follow you. I want to follow everybody.
If you go to the Things Network page, you see that
Yes.
schedule that's pinned to the top.
Yes.
At the bottom of that schedule is all the platforms that we're on. Every link to it.
Go
Facebook,
look for it.
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. Why do we have so many platforms that start with a T?
I don't know. Maybe T is like a powerful letter.
I guess. Well, T is always the first word that they pick on Wheel of Fortune, too.
Yeah.
It's either T, R, or S.
Yep.
Ironically, all three of them are right next to each other.
Yeah. A lot of the time.
And then the last cool thing is I've already secured the domain, but we have a thingsnetwork.com.
Ooh.
And I had secured that a couple of years ago, but never really did anything with it.
Ooh, thinking ahead.
So now, well, it was back in the time when the Things Network was just a network of teams that is now the Things family.
Yes.
But now, since I still have that domain name, I am going to build on the website and have it to where you have all the shows that are on there. Like a schedule, like a written summary and things like that. I'm going to try to figure out a way. I know it's possible. I'm going to try to figure out a way so that every show, when they go live on Facebook, it automatically goes live on the website.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah. Because, let's be honest, Facebook, a lot of people tend to think that Facebook is the be-all, end-all in social media.
Mm-hmm.
There are also a lot of people who refuse to have Facebook. So they only use Twitter, or they'll only use Instagram or whatever.
There's a lot of people, like I posted today, who would love to get rid of Facebook.
I know.
Yes. But all the friends are here.
So why not try to take this network and expand to all the platforms that you can and get a following there? Because there may be some people that, because of their job, they're not allowed to have Facebook. So they have a LinkedIn page.
True.
Target that market. There's a lot of people out there that absolutely hate Facebook. I'm only using Twitter. I'm targeting you.
Right.
Because who knows what's going to happen with the whole Elon Musk thing, but that's another story.
We'll stay out of that.
Yeah. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't have an opinion. I don't care. As long as Twitter is still there and
Yeah.
doesn't change.
I don't use Twitter personally, but
Yeah. But a lot of people do.
yeah.
So why not try to target that market?
Yeah.
And I also want to get um, a big international market. So I want international shows to come in. Um, yeah. So there you go. And there's a lot of people that don't like Facebook. Honestly, I haven't really been that big of a fan of Facebook either with what's been going on.
I
But
liked it at first. I did, but
I
now,
do too. I still like it to a degree, and other times I don't really like it because drama.
or they put you in jail for stupid reasons.
For stuff that happened 10 years ago.
A post like
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Come on, 10 years ago. Who remembers that crap?
Yeah. Who's scrolling through your newsfeed to even see that, you know?
Yeah. Well, they got these algorithms.
Yeah, I know.
But here's something that really shocked me. I got invited to a group.
Oh, you mentioned this today.
Yes, I got invited to a group, and from what I can see, none of my friends, even as of a couple of hours ago, none of my friends are in this group. But this is a group of admins,
Mm-hmm.
and this group is ran by people that run Facebook.
So weird.
Yeah, and they brought me into it. And one of the messages that was on there is saying that this is an invite only group,
Yeah.
so it's private.
Not
And,
now.
well, I'm not going to say what the
I
name
know. I'm
is,
playing.
but it's an invite only group. And one of the messages that was on there was that you have been selected because you have been so prolific on your pages, the group pages, the public pages. You have been so prolific, and we're taking notice.
Wow.
Now, there's like 5, 6, 7 people on there who I have mutual friends with,
Right.
40 or more.
They're watching you, Jeremy.
Yeah, apparently I'm doing something right. And so on their little post where they're just like, hey, all you new people, introduce yourself. So I introduced myself and tell them what field I'm in. I was like, I don't know what I did to get brought in here, but I'm honored and this is interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so I really don't know what I did. I just stayed busy. With all the projects that I've got going on and everything, and I'm using group pages and public pages and trying to promote this and that, what I can.
Yep.
It caught somebody's attention.
Absolutely. I love
and,
that.
And it has brought me into a very elite group. So I'm going to be watching this and seeing what this is all about, because I have been brought into an elite group before.
Yeah.
And I ended up leaving it because it was run under sort of a dictatorship. And I will not put up with that crap.
Gotcha.
But this one here is ran by the management of Facebook.
Wow.
It seems like. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and study this and see what's what.
Yes. That's so cool.
And if I don't like how they do things, I'm out of that. I'm leaving that group.
Right.
You know, you know me. I'm not afraid to tell it how it is.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I know. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Um. So, but that is pretty exciting now,
Hmm.
and it's shocking and humbling
Yeah,
that I got chosen.
that's awesome.
I don't see anybody else in the paranormal field in that group.
That's awesome.
I don't know what's going on.
Ha!
I'm
They're watching
really,
you.
yeah,
That's what's
I'm
going
really,
on.
really excited about it.
Very cool. Very
What
cool.
else?
Yeah, is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up this chat?
Let's see. We got the Paranormal Giving Tree coming up on July 30th, and that is basically what used to be the Paranormal Relief Project that Tori Smith started.
Okay.
She had passed that project on to me, and I took it to the team, and we renamed it as Paranormal Giving Tree
Yep.
because the Relief Project that was her baby, but she said it was so much work, so tiring. She could not do a second year for it, and it was a successful first year.
Yeah.
And I was honored enough to be a part of the main three that did it. It was myself, Terry. She was the leader of the whole thing, and then we also had Matt Warner.
Okay.
Um, and I thought it was a success. So now we're doing it again. This time, instead of catering to or directing it to the first responders group,
Mm-hmm.
this year we are directing it towards veterans.
Oh.
All military branches, and you can either be in boot camp, active service, you can be retired,
Okay.
discharged.
I like that.
Yeah. So we're doing this for military veterans, and
Yeah.
um, we just have a low number. It's less than 10 locations, um, and that's going to be on July 30th. Our team
Yep.
has the jail and Crown Point, so we're really excited about that.
Yep.
We got a really good relationship with Sandy and Jackie and everybody there. We got a really good relationship with there, and we have a couple of projects going for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Um, and Sandy is just a wonderful person, and I just love that jail so much. I consider that my home,
Yeah.
an old home. Um, then also we are trying to get a cookbook going.
Yep. I remember hearing about that. That's cool.
Adrian is actually the one who is leading that one up, and I still need to give her my recipe.
There's your reminder.
I know, and I've been reminding myself for weeks now. I just haven't written it down yet. That's how
Yeah.
busy I've been. And then, of course, there's the one that you and I are working on. Of course, I don't know if you want. I don't think that should be public just yet because we haven't really even started on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. We wait on that.
And then let's see.
So many.
Yeah, so many things. I want to do another pair of Unity Sings video.
Okay.
Haven't done that one in about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
But the three that were done went over really well, and I would love to do another one.
You have
Um,
to prepare a Unity in October.
well, I was going to do one back in October, and yeah, I just
No, the Pair Unity convention.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, 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 yes.
In Hannah
Yeah.
House.
So we had the Para Unity Convention October 22nd in Peru, Indiana, at
Yes.
the Miami County 4-H Fairgrounds building.
Yes.
Uh, Shadow Seekers is hosting,
Hmm.
and we are actually using both buildings.
It's gonna
Um,
be awesome.
and we have all kinds of fun things planned. Nothing is 100% set, but we got so many fun things planned for that one.
Hmm.
And then there's also we are going to be set up in August at the
Yep.
Henley House
Yep.
for their Paranormal Day celebration.
Yep. That one is hosted by Jason Snyder. He
Mhm.
hosts it yearly. It's a free event. Also, we love free events.
Yep. And you're the one that got us in that one.
Yep. Well, I've been there, and I'm telling you, Jeremy, it is a beautiful event, and you get to hang out on a haunted location. It's great.
And then a really exciting announcement for those who know or remember, we had DeadCon back in October here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I personally had a good time there. I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself. A lot of people enjoyed themselves. But there was also some controversy behind the scenes, and things weren't exactly kosher. Um, they weren't necessarily known to the public, but we could tell throughout the weekend that there were certain things not adding up right, and a couple of announcements that were made that was not consistent, let's say.
Yeah.
So somebody got their idea, not me. Somebody.
It doesn't happen.
I lie, don't I, Katie? I lie. No, I don't. So somebody got the idea of wanting to start a new big convention for Fort Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to be part of that task force to help get it up and running.
Fort Wayne really does need. I know there has been other ones that have happened in Fort Wayne over the years, but there is a huge amount of people up there that support the paranormal. They really do. They don't even know,
Oh yeah,
what's out there. And I think
yeah,
Fort Wayne being as big as it is, I think it's great. We don't have to pay, thousands of dollars to have a convention. You don't. So,
right. But here's the thing: you got to be smart about it.
right.
You got to be really smart about it. You need to plan ahead. Now, for DeadCon, they had 3 years to plan this thing.
Well, they kind of got COVID popped up at the wrong time for that too. So
It did. It did.
it did.
Um, but COVID is also not the reason why certain people weren't paid either.
I know.
Um, but we won't go into that.
He said it. I didn't.
Yeah. Well, like we all know, I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said. But I don't know what really happened behind the scenes, but there was a very public post by Jason Hawes himself
There
about
was.
not being paid.
Oh,
And I can't, I honestly cannot see him posting something just to start trouble.
right.
I don't see it.
Right.
I know some people say that he can be a bit of an ass, and okay, yeah, I can see that. But I don't see him doing it just to be an ass. And the way that he made that post was in no way of him being bitter about it. It was just him stating facts.
Right.
That's how I read his post. But my suggestion was that we shoot for the convention to be in October of 2023.
Okay.
But they're trying to do it for October of this year. And I'm thinking, okay, let's see how this goes. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna help them out because I am not the best person to be on this thing. I'm not the most experienced person, but I do have some experience in helping with putting on conventions,
Right.
and and I like to think that I have somewhat of a business mindset. Maybe not necessarily the greatest business mindset,
You do
but
have a bit of an entrepreneur in you, or you wouldn't have all these projects and networks and stuff like that going on.
yeah. Um, but a lot of this stuff to me is more basic common sense,
Yeah.
which
To
is
you,
something.
but not to everybody. So,
Yeah. So I'm going to help them out, and I'm going to try to help get this thing going for this year.
yeah.
And I hope it succeeds. I really do because I know Fort Wayne has a market for this. And
Yes.
it's not necessarily just for the paranormal aspect, but also for the horror movie genre,
Right.
sci-fi, everything.
It's very popular.
Yes.
A lot of our residentials come from Fort Wayne.
Yep.
Like, it's
It
very
does.
haunted up there.
Yeah. And we literally just did residential 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Uh,
We're just
New
doing
Hampshire.
residentials left and right.
Yep.
We've
Yep.
had a lot.
And we're still waiting on word from a couple other residences that. So yeah, we do have that. I'm pretty excited about that one. Um, and I'm just grateful to have my name attached to so many different things.
Right.
I really am. Um, and it has never been my intention to be like, ooh, like that big bad. But um, I'm just so thankful to be a part of so many different things, and to be invited to be part of different stuff as well.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's a good feeling, isn't it?
it
It is.
really is. It
I,
really
I
is.
love I love invites too. Guys,
Yeah.
I love invites. Invite me on your investigations though.
And then I've also got some other shows that were basically waiting on me to heal for me to be a guest on. I
Okay.
kid you not. Within a week of my accident,
Yeah.
I was asked by 3 different shows.
Yeah.
I will, Craig. In fact, Dad might actually have been watching this show. I don't know. He said he was going to try,
Hi,
but
Jimmy's dad.
thank you, Craig, so much for watching this show. It really means a lot to me. Um, and damn, I completely forgot what I was.
Oh
What
my
I
gosh.
was
We've been talking too long.
yeah, we have 2 hours, 11 minutes, and almost 30 seconds. But you know what?
We're gonna wrap it up, guys. Don't worry.
We're going to wrap it up. Um, is it the boy?
It's what the boy.
Um, I I don't know.
So mysterious.
She can be a little mysterious every now and then.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I am so privileged that people think. Oh, shows.
Shows what we're doing right
And,
now.
yeah. So within a week of me having my accident, I had 3 shows message me saying, "Hey, we'd like to have you on our show." I'm like, not right now, you don't.
Yeah.
um,
I
so
remember
so now,
that.
so now that this is done, I'm going to message all of them back and say, "Hey, I can do your show now.
Yep.
Um,
Jeremy's back, y'all.
I am back. The Where I've always been known as the Phenom, and then I got the name Adonis. But then
Yeah.
Sarai kind of gave me another nickname on my own page a few days ago. She
Yeah.
said that I am a phoenix.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I really got to thinking about that. And if you think about it, that's kind of what happened to me, almost. And so today, I actually wrote a lyric around that,
Did you?
titled Phoenix. So,
Very cool.
yeah. Um,
You gonna sing it to us?
no.
Fine.
I can recite it if you want me to, but I'm not going to sing it. um, but no, it's really humbling, and I'm so honored that people want me to be a part of their projects,
Yep.
and certainly doing this convention that they're wanting to do here in Fort Wayne. That to me that tells me a lot.
Right.
Um,
Well, Jeremy, we're all thankful for you to be a part of our daily lives now with the shows too. Not just you being a part of those projects, you're now a part of our daily lives again. And
yeah,
I know there are plenty of people out there that watch you and have watched 13th Dimension and watched things and watched all of the podcasts that are so thankful for you to be back.
and
We
now
we are
on Thursdays and Fridays, you're pretty much going to be seeing a paranormal pirate, I guess.
this guy is what you get to see on Thursdays and Fridays. Brace yourself. It's
Yeah.
happening. All right, Jeremy. Well, we should wrap this up. It's been over 2 hours. It's been awesome.
It has been
It's been
awesome.
emotional. Very
It
emotional.
was. It was. I thought I was going to tear up there a few times there in the beginning.
You're more than welcome to tear up on my show. I don't mind. I've teared up on my show.
Pull back the veil on what's been happening.
Yes, unveil, right? Yeah. That's what this is. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So,
and for everybody out there, thank you so much. I have been getting numerous messages, text messages, phone calls, post on my profile. I have been getting so many, and I am so thankful for all of you guys. Really.
Y'all are awesome.
Yeah. You guys are all so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I felt the love and I felt the energy when everybody said that they were praying for me. I could literally feel the energy from that, and that had never happened to me before. So people are always talking about the power of prayer, and I always thought that it was just words. But talking with Ernie Pack, um, he he said it perfectly when he said that there is a powerful community in the paranormal field, and when people pull together, amazing things can happen. And they pulled together, and I could feel their energy coming to me, helping me heal, which is probably why I'm in as good a shape I'm in right now. And
That's beautiful.
I can't thank everybody enough for that, really. Whether we talk on a daily basis or we don't talk at all, or even if any of us were on bad terms, thank you.
I can't do it. I can't do it. My heart looks dysfunctioned. That looks better.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much again, Jeremy, for joining me tonight. I'm so glad that you were able to be here. So thankful for this opportunity and thankful that I got to reveal you again, unveil you.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep. And everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in, showing your support to Jeremy, showing your support to Unveil. You all are awesome, and I hope everybody has a great night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, and thank you.